we have what we call an interface manager. So we have a tool here where we can push and pull. So we've got inbound and outbound records. So I can see what's successful and what's unsuccessful. So we've been doing some testing recently, so I've got many fails, but I've got successful here. So essentially how it works, it's web services, either SOAP or REST. So we can do it real time in SOAP, or we can do RESTful. And we have a bunch of standard interfaces for many things. And if I just go to interfaces, you can also do static file interface as well. So if you're doing one-off data loads and you're not using CMIC, you can use, just allocate a file location on a server somewhere, and we can point RentalResult to it, and then you can put a file up there and we can drag it in that way. But you can, to give you a flavor of what we've got. So inbound, so we've got inbound purchase details, inbound accounts, vendors, inbound assets. So if you're creating assets in CMIC and you want to bring them in, great. If you're creating assets in RentalResult and you want to push them out, we do it this way through the outbound file. Rate changes. So if you're changing price lists and things like that, projects, contacts and prospects and people, we can bring in on an inbound SOAP or REST API. Essentially, we can build whatever data set you want. If the field exists in RentalResult, we can bring it in. We can bring the data in. It's just a case of building that payload and what that looks like, and it will be, just things like the field name, the naming convention between CMIC and RentalResult, and the field length. So if you've got something that's 50 characters on a description, if you send 51 characters, it will fail. So what most of our customers do is they use RentalResult as that tool. They'll do all the operational stuff within RentalResult. They'd run the continuation billing at month end by a cutoff date. Then they would extract that billing payload, and then they would send it into CMIC. And there is a payload that we do have for that. It would probably, obviously, endpoints, and that would be unique and need connecting. And maybe some of the fields would need tweaking, but a lot of the time on the interface manager, we'll just send a batch basically. And within that batch, let's have a look and see what this one is. So this one is probably, this is probably all his billing details without reading too much into the code. So it would basically look a little bit like this, in terms of we'd build this out. You'd run your billing in RentalResult, and then we'd have an automatic payload to pick that up and push that into CMIC. Difficult to, I guess, articulate because it's not really something we can show. It's there, and it would need building, but we do it to pretty much every customer that's using RentalResult is integrating to something, whether it's CMIC, Oracle, SAP. There's several others that we're integrating to as well. It's just a slight customization during implementation on standard web services based on the fields that you want to import back into CMIC. You can package it up and send whatever you want from RentalResult into CMIC, and if you want the final commit in CMIC, you can do that, and then you can just send a message back. So the three message flows you've got is you've got a create message, so you're going to send something new into CMIC, or you're sending something new into RentalResult from CMIC. You've got an update message. So I've sent this before, but I'm updating this field, or I'm updating this data point, from pending approval to approval. And then you've got cancel, which is I'm off renting this, I'm taking this thing off rent, or I'm canceling this down. So they're basically the three payload types you've got. And then whatever you send within those parameters is customizable. So we can work with your integrations team on what that looks like. And some of it is a direct feed, so it's direct CMIC or SAP or Oracle to RentalResult, and some of our customers use a staging table. So the data will go in, it will get converted and then pushed on. So I guess depends on which method you're looking at there. I think depends on what the payload looks like and the way that we convert the data.